Cardinals to the world, we're hitting first base. Marty Lurie with friends, home run. You know the ways and the trends of stories all with the mitch of the block. It's Marty and friends. Marty and friends.
Hi, great to be back with you on this Sunday as we do our post-game show. Eric joins us. Eric, how are you?
Doing good, Marty. Heartbreaker of a loss today. The last 2 days, I should say. And tough times, Marty. Tough times right now for the Giants when they got to go out there and win.
No, this is a tough one. First of all, for people just joining us, we know the 49er game is on. And Eric, you could keep people updated on the 49er game if you want. I think it was 7-7 the last time I looked.
I'll keep it up here.
Yeah, for the Giants, they go into St. Louis, a team that is really, really struggling. And they've got everybody's injured. Burleson's injured. Donovan is injured. Arenado is injured. Contreras is having his 4-game suspension during this series. And this is a team that had a lot of trouble hitting. And last night they came back and won in the 9th inning off of Walker with, 3 bloops, and they hit a guy and that kind of stuff. And Jordan Walker ended up hitting the ball hard past Chapman. That was about it. And they scored 3 runs and won 3-2. And today they lose the game 4-3 to St. Louis. And again, this morning when I was on the show, I talked about some of the numbers that are going on with the Giants and 1-run games and 2-run games. And, you can add them up. 1 or 2-run game now, they're 37-44, 81 of 123 games, 81 of 123 games. That's 2/3, 1 or 2 runs. That's a hit when you need it. 1-run game, this is a loss, 26-26, 52 1-run games. But for me, Sean, I'm glad people are chiming in. And as I said, Eric will keep you up to date on football. But this one is important if you're a baseball fan. Sean, how can we look at 3 strikes to kill the rally? You're right. You got to be swinging the bat. You have to be swinging the bat there. You just can't be fooled on every pitch. And then the last pitch he just swung wildly at, and that was the end of him. It's being aggressive. Being aggressive, and you've got to get your pitch and you got to hit it. Lou, our dear friend Lou Marston, who you know well, what does Lou have to say here?
Lou? Hey, what's up, Lou? He goes, after yesterday's collapse and disaster performance of Walker, today was expected. Also, again, Melvin left Tang in too long. Marty, something we're going to touch on him here. Everyone in America could see he lost it. Typical Melvin, he says.
Well, look, Lou, you're 100% right. I texted Eric, right? Eric, I texted you while it was happening. This is K.Y. Tang on the mound. This isn't Ron Guidry. This isn't Tom Seaver. This isn't Marichal. It's not Jason Schmidt. It's not Lincecum. It's not Bumgarner. It's not Matt Cain. It's K.Y. Tang. And he struggled. He struggled in the 5th inning. He struggled in the 4th inning. He gave up a hit, and then the walk started to win. He walked him. Then he got 2 hitters who couldn't hit anybody, Sagassi and Pajes, to get out of the inning. But it was a stressful inning for him. All right, so Bob Melvin, it's the 5th. I said this on the pregame show. Get ready. Get the long relief ready today. Brubaker, Beck, Bivens, whoever it may be, get them ready today. Tang is not going 7. I said it. He may go 5. He may go 6. He's not going 7. Get these guys ready. So Walker comes up. This is the 5th inning. Come on, the 5th inning. His pitch count is fine, but he's wild. He's a kid. He's 26 or so. This is only his 5th major league start. He walks Walker. Church, who can't hit any. The Cardinals can't hit.
They can't.
They cannot hit. He walks Walker. He walks Church. Fermin, who swings, emergency swings. That's all he does is an emergency swing. He walks him. And he walked the last two basically on 8 pitches. And now the bases are loaded. Where is Melvin? They send JP out to talk to him with the interpreter. Yeah, he talks to him. Great. He comes back and he walks people again.
Mm-hmm.
They loaded. Nootbaar gets to 3-1. And he swung 3-0, I think. I think he swung at the 3-0 pitch. He could have walked in a run there, and Nootbaar got a hit.
Yep.
But that was going to be a walk. Then he gets him out, and then he rushes Buto into the game in the 5th inning, who undoubtedly was not ready. He wasn't ready to come in the 5th inning. He's probably relaxing in the bullpen, thinking, you need me, it'll be the 7th or 8th inning. He wasn't thinking 5th inning, I'll guarantee you. So they get him up quickly, and he comes in and gives up a base hit. Then he's not ready. He walks in a run at that point. And then Wynn hits into a double play with the bases loaded. The 4th run comes in, and he strikes out Sagasi, who had a great day, a double play and 3 strikeouts for him. You think Nolan Arenado's worried or something if this guy's going to take his place? I don't think so. And that's how they scored their 4 runs.
Yep.
That's how, Michelle Nibby, I texted her today. I said, the Cardinals are going to gift wrap this one for you. And they did. And Melvin, I tell you, and Lou, I agree with you. This one is on Melvin. The Giants should not have been in this position. They have got to be playing more desperate baseball. They've got 19 games to go. Look, if Arizona wins today, and they're probably, I think they were winning the last time we looked. I think they're either tied. Arizona, if they win today, Arizona is ahead of the Giants. They'd be 73-71. The Giants would be 72-71.
Tied on top of the 4th, 1-1.
1-1, yes. This is a big game for Arizona today. So this is one the Mets lose. The Mets lose today. Marte in the 9th inning has got 1st and 2nd. They're down by a run. Santillan is pitching. They couldn't even use Pagan today. He's been used all the time. Hunter Green was great. And, the Mets are down by a run. They get 2 on, and Marte just gets jammed and hits into a double play, and that game ends, and the Mets lose that game. But there's no question. There's no question in my mind on this, Melvin. This is inexcusable. And this has happened before where he's gone too long with pitchers. And I've been, look, Melvin is an experienced manager. Who am I? But I've been down pennant races before, and so has he. Mm-hmm. And there's a way you manage. And I saw Bochy do it. I saw Art Howe do it. I saw Maka do it. I've seen Dusty Baker do it. You just have to be on top of your game. You must win this game.
Mm-hmm.
You must win this game. There is no, well, all right, we'll come back tomorrow. No, whatever it takes to win this game, you must win this game. If it meant putting Peguero into that inning to get Tang out of trouble, put him in at that. Give him his inning right there. You can't let this happen. I tell you honestly, that is on Melvin. Now, hitting-wise, it worried me a little bit last night with the Giants. It worried me just a little bit, and I looked it up, and I had my scorecard from last night, and it was after the 5th inning. After the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, the Giants had 3 hits. That was it last night, and they scored their 2 runs. Nice inning. Smith got a hit. Chapman got the hit. Schmidt got the sacrifice fly, and Gilbert got the double, and that's the way they got their 2 hits. And Victor Scott didn't help the Cardinals. They're throwing the ball around the wrong base. But my point is, I worried about going into today's game. I said, something? Are they starting to go into this again? It's inevitable. It's the way baseball works. And they may be into that little hitting funk again, because you look at the hitting today, and I know I'm talking too much.
No, it's all good.
Sean Forgrave. I think Adames is trying to get the third. His bat's cooled off. His bat has cooled off. He struck out twice today. He was flailing at the ball. Look, you know it, I know it, we all know it. If they throw him breaking ball, he's going to go after it. Sliders away, he's going to go after it. He didn't get that fastball up in the strike zone that he could drive today. He did get 2 walks. He stole a bag for him. But you're right. Adames probably is pressing a little bit. Probably is. Anthony Merkovich, 2 nails in the coffin. Not necessarily. Believe me, there's 19 games to go. And I'll tell you again, the Mets schedule. Mets have 2 pitchers. They got this guy, McClain, who's pitched 4 major league games. And the kid today, I guess, pitched a good game. I didn't see it. He had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning, but it's his first major league start. And Peterson, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Peterson kind of give you something. The Mets, Phillies, Texas, San Diego, Washington. You get Lord and this Alvarez kid, you could have trouble. The Cubs, who could be fighting, who knows what they could be fighting for at that point. And then the Marlins, and if you get Alcantara and Yuri Perez and, that stuff, you can have trouble. That's the Mets schedule the rest of the way. The Padres, they get Colorado. I think they have Cincinnati, the Mets, the White Sox, Milwaukee, and Arizona. Come on. And I'll tell you something. The Giants have trouble here because their rest of their schedule, there's only 3 left with the Central.
Right.
Everything else is the West. And they're 16-20 in the West. And they've got the Dodgers for 7, and they've got Arizona for 6, and Colorado for 3. And Lou, I understand their schedule is not easy either. The last week, the Giants get the Cardinals for 3 and the Rockies for 3. I don't care what the Rockies are doing. When they come to San Francisco, they're like 7-50. So, chances are that should work out. The Cardinals, by the time they get here, who knows what shape they're going to be in, pitching-wise. I mean, the McGreevy, come on, Michaelis, Sonny Gray today was okay. He's better at home. Sonny Gray at home is 9-5.
Palante.
Yeah, Palante stinks. Just gives up hits. Sonny Gray on the road is a different pitcher. So, Lou, you're right. The schedule isn't easy. This is going to be some September. And I'll tell you another thing. The Dodgers. They did win today. They're 9 under since July 4th. Right. 9 under. So you want to talk about the Giants in the second half of 25. Since July 4th, the Dodgers are 9 under. They get Colorado. They get the Giants, obviously a couple of 7 games. They get, it looks like, maybe, I can't read on my own writing. It looks like Phillies maybe, Arizona, and then Seattle. Come on, this is anything can happen. I swear to you, I haven't seen a race like this in a long time. Not just one, and it's a race for a wild card spot. Let's face it. But it could be for the division. The Padres may win the division. The Dodgers could end up on their last 19 going 7-12. And the Giants could go, 15-4. And all of a sudden they can knock the Dodgers out. Yeah. Crazy. Yes, it is. But I'm telling you, the way the teams are, it's not just mathematically I'm talking about. It's the way the teams are playing. It's the way they're playing. And these teams are not playing well. And they don't have bullpens. It's a game of bullpens. The Giants bullpen is a mess right now. The Dodger bullpen they were going through a funeral last night when they gave up that lead, Yamamoto's game, and the one-hitter and no-hitter in 8 2/3, and the bullpen came in, couldn't hold a 3-0 lead for 1 out. The Padre bullpen is fairly steady, but they've got some damage right now. Mm-hmm. The Mets bullpen with Stanek and those people, they always give up runs. Tyler Rogers is the only one that doesn't. Cincinnati bullpen, shaky as can be. Arizona bullpen, shaky as can be. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's why every one of these games in September is going to feel like a playoff game. And if you get in the playoffs and your bullpen doesn't perform, you'll be out. If your bullpen does perform, you got a shot to do something. It's not starting pitching anymore. Hitting-wise, I hope the Giants aren't hitting for this little funk again, because baseball is always a game of correction. Hitting-wise, the Giants are hitting really well. Really well. But that 7, 8, and 9, again, I worry about that 7, 8, and 9 again. Don't fall into that funk. Bailey, do you really have to pinch hit him? Do you really have to pinch hit Bailey? I don't know. I'm glad that Flores was on the bench. They should bring up the Rodriguez kid. He can hit. Second, he can hit, even if he's hitting off the bench. I'd rather see him off the bench than Bailey. I would. Schmidt's doing his job. Smith is doing his job. Devers and Adames. But whoever said Adames is pressing, I think that's right.
Yeah. Sean, again, I think Adames is pressing, trying to get that 30. It's possible. I think you were alluding to it earlier, Marty. He was swinging at that low and away stuff. They kept throwing him low and away. So he's got to be a little bit more litigious, I guess you want to say, when he sees that pitch going low and away. It's easier said than done, right? But I tell you, to piggyback on what you were saying about Bob Melvin, the team has been hitting, and they've been doing a pretty damn good job, right, over the last few series. Bob Melvin should have played a bigger role in this game. As you alluded to, hey, your team has been out there playing with their hair on fire. Go out there and make the right decision, because this is your game, Melvin, right? This was his game that he could have kept a little bit under control. Would the outcome have been a little bit different? Maybe. But at least hey, my team is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Let me do what I need to do to help the team as well.
There is playoff managing, and there is managing. Oliver Marmol, he ought to be fired tomorrow. Come on. Sonny Gray, you texted me. Sonny Gray lost it. Sonny Gray lost it. He lost it. And he left him in for walk after walk after walk and hit. Come on, Oliver. He's qualified for the win already. It's okay.
Yep.
And he's sitting there looking out at the game like, hello. Oliver Marmol should be fired.
Yes.
What's McRae on this team if he's not going to play? Well, they don't really need McRae now. What they needed McRae for, and I thought about it, was to pinch run.
Right, instead of Koss.
Yeah, but that's all right. Koss, Flores was already on second.
Yeah.
If he was on first and you had to steal a bag, then maybe you throw McRae in there. But that's here to pinch run. Gilbert is playing the outfield. Gilbert's playing.
Right.
Matos is another one today. If you had Rodriguez here, you could have pinch hit Matos.
Right.
Out of there. The game came down to Patrick Bailey. Come on. It came down to Patrick Bailey grounding into a double play with the tying run on base. Stop it. Pinch run. Get him out of there. Matos should have had that at bat. You cannot lose this game with Patrick Bailey hitting into a double play.
Absolutely.
He had his moment, and he hit the home run off the bricks. That's it. He's had his moment.
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen again.
Let's get with Jay, and then I see a special guest in there, Marty. Let's see what Jay had to say. He said he just waltzed in. I can't figure out why Melvin doesn't see the numbers that Kai Tang has the longer he goes. Give him 4. If he does well, he should have pulled him. If we see it, why can't he?
We all saw it. I said it on the pregame. It was, come on, he walked 3 in a row.
Yes.
Walked 2 of them with 4 pitches.
Yeah.
So this is a playoff run. This is not a game in April or May. You must win that game. The save happens right there. That's when the save happens, you put your best reliever in right there to get the save. You got to do it.
Yes.
All right. Melvin's got to he's got to pick it up. He has
Absolutely. Has to.
And they got to keep Bailey out of these situations. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. We've got a special guest. We're going to talk more baseball with you, but I'm going to hold the book up. I can hold it there.
I love that cover. I love that cover.
It's going to be a bestseller. It's done by Jane Leavy, New York Times best-selling author of Sandy Koufax. I first met Jane after she wrote that book, the Mickey Mantle book, the Babe Ruth book, and she is an authority on baseball, and she wrote a very interesting book that says, "Make me commissioner." And Jane, I'm all for it, but we're going to bring you back when we take a break, and we'll chat with you about the book and your ideas, and then we're going to talk some more baseball with everybody. And before we do that, what's the 49ers score?
49ers score. It is 10-7 to Seahawks, and it is halftime.
Okay, we'll keep you up on that as well. All right.
And by the way, Arizona went up 2-1.
2-1. All right. These are scoreboard watching. It's important to do it. All right. We're going to take a break. A couple of our sponsors, and then Jane Leavy will join us.
Hello again, Marty Lurie here to talk about my good friends at Georgie Brothers, the largest family-owned furniture store in the entire Bay Area. Right now and good through October 27th. Now listen to this. You can save 10% on all qualifying stressless sofas, recliners, chair and ottoman sets, sectionals, as well as accessories in the stressless line. I love this line of furniture. Also, there's a $400 savings on all power recliners. How about that? This is absolutely one of the best stressless sales offered all year. You can literally save hundreds, even thousands of dollars. I own stressless furniture, and I can tell you it's the most comfortable place to sit in my home. Visit them at GeorgieBrothers.com. That's GIORGIBROS.com. Or even better, stop by their 50,000 square foot showroom in South San Francisco. Hey fans, Gene Bagato checked in from Bodega Bay, and he told me that with the coming arrival of fall, they're expecting some of the best weather of the year up on the Sonoma coast. And what better way to enjoy such a fabulous climate than a trip to the Tides Wharf? At the restaurant, a varied menu awaits guests, offering such classics as New England clam chowder and house smoked salmon and fried calamari to fresh seafood salads. I love it. Pastas and grilled fish. If the beach is your destination, the fish market offers whatever food and beverages one needs for a picnic. While across the Great Hall, the gift shop has not only stylish beachwear, but the perfect souvenirs to take home. Now, if you're looking for an extended stay, just across Highway 1, the Inn at the Tides with its large, comfortable rooms and heated pool is waiting for you. Wow. So if you're looking for the perfect fall getaway not far from the Bay Area, look no further than the Tides Wharf and the Inn at the Tides in scenic Bodega Bay.
All right. Great. Thank you for doing that, Eric. First of all, Moody missed a 27-yard field goal. How long are they going to go with this guy? Come on, please. And, Spencer Stewart, I appreciate the update from you. The Seahawks 10-7. Father of man 25. Seriously, stop it. Melvin is asleep at the wheel. He is. Come on. It's a playoff game. My God. All right. Jane Leavy joins us. Jane, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Hi, Marty.
Oh, you've been on my show before. This is Eric, who does the show with me.
Hello, Jane.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Plenty of people who are fans of yours listening, and I'll hold up the book again. I love it. It's a very good cover, by the way. I want to commend you.
Thank you.
Very-
Did you look at the back yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have to commend the. Oh no, you don't have a good back.
No, this, I just got the,
This is the new back.
oh, very nice. All right. Maybe the,
That's because the dog, Penny the dog, is a character in the book, and she's listed as an infielder for the Orleans Firebirds.
all right.
Nothing gets by her.
All right. Make sure the publisher sends me the book, but I can use
I'll
this.
do it. I'll do it. I'll take care of it.
All right. tell us about the book. You're so well versed in baseball and you and I met after the Koufax book. I remember when you came to the Bay Area. You've written so many wonderful books. You've been a baseball writer. You've covered teams. You have a tremendous background. Why the book? First of all, I'd like to make you the commissioner, but why this book?
Well, I fully expected to do another biography because doing biographies makes you sound important as opposed to just writing a baseball book. So I went looking for somebody that I wanted to spend a lot of time with. I spent 8 years with Babe Ruth and 5 with Mickey and 4 with Sandy. And you got to really have an interesting subject if you're going to take that long to write. I have 2 rules, Marty. I'm not going to write a book about somebody that has been done so well that I really believe nothing I can do can improve on it. For example, Richard Ben Kramer's book on DiMaggio, which is definitive. Unpleasant, but definitive. And I have another rule, which is I'm not going to write about a subject who's been done by a friend, no matter whether I like the book or I don't like the book. I'm just not going there. That leaves a very small list. And when I started looking at present day guys, there wasn't anybody. I'm not going to write a book about Ohtani. I don't speak Japanese. And I think one of the mistakes people make in my business, they try to end the story before it ends. We don't know what's going to happen to him yet. His future appears limitless, but he's human. And he's already had 2 surgeries. And you got to wait for the 3rd act, I believe. Aaron Judge, same thing. Is he fated to be the great man on teams that can't win the big one? Could be. If you start the season without a 3rd baseman, God forbid, my Yankees, but okay. You're not making his life easy. And then I went to Cooperstown to have breakfast with Joe Torre and Sandy Koufax on the veranda of the Otesaga Hotel. And they were talking about pitching and, and catching, and they were having this conversation. So they're sort of talking with their hands. They're both Brooklyn boys. From Brooklyn, we talk with our hands, right? Bronx too. And whatever they said, I couldn't keep up with them. It was a private pitcher-catcher convo. And at the end of it, Joe says, hard to watch. And Sandy says, I don't watch. Mm. And I thought, oh boy, if that's where we've gotten to, if Sandy Koufax doesn't watch baseball because he doesn't like the game on the field, doesn't recognize it as the game he played, or one that may be different and be admired, then we really have a problem. And that's what did it, frankly, that conversation.
Well, it's interesting. Obviously, we have baseball today. Millions of people go to the games. They watch the games. It's a new generation of understanding how the teams are put together, how the game is run. It may not be appealing and attractive in an aesthetic sense, but that's what we have going on today. So when you take a book like this, what I like about it, I'm a lawyer, is that you have your premise and now you support the premise by the structure being interviews within the book with very prominent people in all facets of baseball, the drive line, the data, the analytics, the manager, and things like that. And then at the end, I said, all right, Jane, what should you do? And you do actually give your suggestions on how to make the game better. So let's talk a little bit about the structure of the book and the basis for where you eventually say, this is what I want to do.
You guys will recall that in the fall of 2021, all the headlines, after we'd been able to go back to the ballpark to some extent post-pandemic, there were all these headlines. Baseball's broken. Baseball's dying. Baseball's dead. Baseball should be federalized. And I went, whoa, that's serious stuff. And Major League Baseball, to its credit, got itself in gear. They hired Theo Epstein to be the czar of making baseball fun again, and let him loose to come up with rules, some of which were goofy and didn't work, like moving the mound back a foot, and others like getting rid of the shift and imposing a pitch clock did work. Thank God for them. So I couldn't write the book I set out to write. Once the rules were announced, I knew that I had to go and reconsider the premise and go from place to place to place throughout 2023, traveled nonstop, minor league games, high school games, tournaments at some of these, horrible places where kids are evaluated on one throw, one swing. I went to Driveline in Kent, which was the first data-driven, Kent, Washington, the first data-driven training center, which, revolutionized the game. And pretty soon everybody was doing the same thing and making a lot of money off of it, I might add. And it was my good fortune that I had gotten to know a guy there who created their batting program, what I like to call Driveline's antidote to Driveline. And because, of course, as you guys know, it started as a pitching thing. And the reason it started with pitching is the pitchers had the advantage in terms of having more data faster and earlier because of Pitch FX, which came into existence in 2008, I think was imposed in 2008. So they had a head start, and they had Kyle Bodie, who, was a poker player and a college dropout, and he served food at, the Olive Garden and did a ton of other things. And he's really smart. And he figured out ways to train velocity. Now, as one of the trainers there said, it used to be you thought, oh, okay, God gave me 90. That's what it's going to be. I'm going to work with 90. Kyle Bodie showed that you could turn a 90-mile-an-hour fastball into a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but you could scale people up. That's my favorite phrase of the modern era. Scale up. Scaling up became the thing when measuring everything became the thing. So they got so good at it, albeit controversial, by using weighted balls and opening up the question whether that kind of training is what's wrecking elbows. And so they brought in this guy, Jason Ochart, who now runs the Boston Red Sox minor league hitting system. Lovely, lovely, lovely guy, to create a program to counteract what Driveline had taught all the pitchers. And he was watching J.P. Crawford was there and had been training there all year. He was shortstop for the Seattle Mariners. And Yu Darvish came in the next day while I was there, and I watched him go through trying to learn how to throw a splitter. I mean, I remember Jason sitting there going, oh my God, we're watching Darvish learn to throw a splitter. I mean, he doesn't have enough pitches already, right?
Right.
It was fascinating. And I understood after being there why it works and why it's so tempting. And one of the best things in the book, not to brag too much, comes from a friend of mine, a woman I met. I actually cold called her from where I'm sitting. And I said, her name is Pekko Hosoi, and she is the creator, founder of the MIT Sports Analytics Lab. Now, these folks are brilliant. They're brilliant in a way I don't even begin to comprehend, much less begin to do. And they've worked with MLB. She was on the committee to test the ball in 2017 and 18. They work with FIFA. They work with the NBA. They do all sorts of analytical calculations, trying to figure out every manner of thing that can be measured. But she said, baseball, because of its incredibly rich history, it's what it's called in the data world, it's clean data set. Thank you, Chadwick. Had an advantage over other sports that didn't start counting. Well, they weren't created and didn't start counting their stuff until much later. So baseball had these numbers to work with, to parse, to think through, to derive new truths from, and they work. They really do work.
Yeah,
They've improved some things.
it's
They've
funny.
also some things.
It's funny, today's game, and I think I texted to you, 7 runs, 7 singles, 10 walks, and probably a dozen strikeouts. And that was in 5 innings. There's 6 innings. That was it. But that's what
Nobody can hit.
what you're talking about. And that's one of the issues of the book, is that this stuff you explain beautifully is why it's here, and they use it. And it has changed today. It was agonizing to watch the game today.
Well, at least it wasn't all the 3 true outcomes today.
It was pretty close.
No home runs, right?
No home runs. It was pretty close.
You can't have 3 true outcomes without the home runs.
No, we had 2 or 3, and believe me, it was agonizing to watch. That's why I went on this little rant about Melvin. They come on, I'm watching the walk after walk after walk, 12 balls in a row. Hello, where are you? And Billy Martin's not sitting in the dugout when that's going on. Earl Weaver's not sitting there, but Bob Melvin is watching it happen, and it cost him the game today. So that's one aspect of it. But you did get to talk with Dave Roberts about managing a game and things like that. Let's touch on that briefly, because I want to get to why you should be commissioner. I think everyone would like to hear that.
I'm really nice. Just to finish what I was saying, Pecco, this genius who uses analytics to improve her time on mountain biking, says the thing about baseball is it's a canary in the coal mine. What baseball has done to itself by basically turning over every decision to numbers is it's surrendered what the players like to call the human element. Yeah. It's surrendered what A.J. Ellis called situational dexterity. And she said, yeah, players run faster. Yeah, they hit the ball harder. Yeah, the pitchers throw harder. But all we see is the forest, and we've lost the trees because we're only measuring things that are measurable, and we only value them. And I thought, this is a warning. And it's what she said. It's a warning to for the rest of society, because this is what's coming. And this is, to some extent, what's already here. Yeah. So, guard our humanity. Sure, use the numbers that are good, but then make a human judgment about them and whether they're worth the sacrifice that they entail. And what they've cost primarily is entertainment, because the game that analytics says is best for winning, most efficient, is boring. I mean, and as Bill the Spaceman Lee said, you know why it's boring? Because everybody knows what's going to happen. Somebody's going to hit a home run, and in 9th inning, some guy's going to come in and strike out the side. Boom. That's it. Yeah. That's baseball. And the nuance of the game, playing it different, structuring your roster differently than somebody else. The old Cardinals, God, right? It doesn't exist.
These aren't Whitey Herzog's Cardinals. They haven't on a base in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right, Eric? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Base in 2 weeks, and they had people on. They couldn't run. They couldn't do anything. All right, let me hold up the book again. This is Jane's book, and Jane, you'll tell us where to get it. And Jane, of course, Jane Leavy, and a wonderful, wonderful baseball person, and an author, and a citizen of baseball is what we like to call
her. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you. So you asked about Dave Roberts. I saw him 2 days ago in Baltimore before the last two losses, which were crushing. I talked to him at great length about, he's known for many things, but one of them he's known for, particularly among pitchers, is having taken Clayton Kershaw, Rich Hill, and who's the third one? Was it Gonsolin? Out of the first 2 a perfect game.
I think it was Gonsolin.
And I think it was Gonsolin. And who, of course, is gone now because, he has
bad arm. Everybody has a bad arm.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, I offered to pitch for him. I said, I'm okay. I'm really all right. And he said, I'll take you. I mean, I got stats. Oh, I have the wrong one. This is a message, an email about my furnace. That's not what I was going to tell you about. The Dodgers lead the league in pitching absences, numbers of days on the IL.
They're hoping they come back in October. That they went into spring training saying, "Don't worry, we'll have him in October."
That's just like last year. Last year was the same predicament for the Dodgers.
Right. And now Glasnow's back hurts in September. Now they got more trouble.
Right, exactly. And the conversation we had about Kershaw went like this. I could tell that he was really pained by what he did. And if you notice today, and maybe you didn't hear his post-game comments, but he said about the game yesterday where let Yamamoto stay in, I really wanted that no-hitter for him. I wanted it bad. And I thought, whoa, Davey, that's different. Because when it came to Clayton Kershaw, in his first start in Minnesota in April 2022, after he'd been injured at the end of 2021, he's rendering a meek team meeker, the meekest of the creatures of the earth. Yeah. And he had 6 outs to get, and no, he's coming out. And Clayton didn't argue with him. The Dodgers pregame guy told me yesterday, I went to him after the game and said, what were you thinking? He didn't want to make what they call in Brooklyn and the Bronx a simus. Would you like to explain that, Marty?
A big simus is a big trouble.
Big trouble.
Big trouble. Big simus.
But it isn't just a question of what it cost him in terms of an achievement, which he certainly should have had the right to try to earn. It's what it costs the game. Every time analytics and risk aversion and efficiency says, no, we're not, we're going to subvert no hitters. We're going to subvert. Do you expect ever to see a perfect game again?
No, not really. Well, maybe a perfect game is so perfect you can get it under 110 pitches, if you're hitting at people or something, no walks and all that kind of stuff. But look, we've gone through this with Verlander.
Yeah.
Verlander's pitched 6 great innings. And what is it, Eric? They've blown the lead for him a dozen, 10 times or something.
Something like 10 times.
3 and 10, and he should have another 6 or 7 wins because the pitch count gets to a certain number, and after 6 innings, he must be taken out at that point. So that's losing the entertainment value through that.
So I said, Davey, what if the next day, the headline that ran across the country, I mean, this is the beginning of the season, right? Says Clayton Kershaw, who has done everything else in baseball that a pitching ace can accomplish, pitched a perfect game in his first game back from injury. It was after the lockout, so he didn't even have much, time to throw in spring training. Isn't that a reason to go out to the ballpark? And baseball keeps taking those reasons away.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, and Davey looked at me and said, I can't argue with you.
No,
I agree 1,000% is what he said.
Yeah, this generation likes it, though. They generally like it because they grew up, right, Eric? Because, Eric, you grew up, you're still a young man with analytics and numbers, and I'm sure 2/3 of the people who are commenting on our show here are, including Dan and other people are, big advocates of what Jane is saying.
Right.
And, that's what we're fighting. We're fighting for that human element to bring it back to the game. That's why Jane Leavy is going to become the commissioner.
There it is.
All right. So, Jane, what are you going to do?
Well, the first thing that has to happen is, kids are not really playing baseball.
Right.
There has been some progress. Manfred's big plan, Project Play, has made some inroads that are good. They've trumpeted figures that showed, according to the Aspen Project Play studies, an increase in the total number of people playing baseball every year. When you look at the fine print, what you find is that the vast percentage of the people who've gone back to playing have played between 1 and 13 times a year. You're still having trouble getting, kids to stay with it. It's still one of the top 3 sports for kids, but it's become a country club sport for kids. It costs more to have a kid learn to pitch than forget Little League. That's for losers. That's for people like me. That's where I played, right?
True.
So
True.
So they need to grow a new group of fans. And I'm not saying that they should abandon analytics. First, it's practically speaking, not happening.
No.
What I'm arguing for is that it's human judgment that makes the decision where, when, and how to use them. Not made by people upstairs in an ops department who have never played the game. That in the analytic world, knowing the business about which you are making all these decisions and is called domain knowledge. Well, and what Pecco said to me, she said, these guys are brilliant guys who make the algorithms. They make really good algorithms, but they don't have domain knowledge. And worse, they don't think it's important.
I don't even know what an algorithm is.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those equations.
I can figure out the ERA, but I couldn't figure out.
I know. Okay, so they need a new fan base, and they need to meet the new fan base on its own terms. So when Jane's commissioner, all kids age 10 and younger, accompanied by an adult, get in free.
I like it.
Do not tell me they can't afford it. It's a $12 billion industry, and every time you televise a game, you're looking at swaths of empty seats. I'm not saying give them the $300 seats behind home plate, but for God's sake, let them in free. Yeah. It's too expensive. And
when I was at Everett Field in Brooklyn, I sat in dead center field in the bleachers. But I was 8 or 9 years old, and boy, I liked it. It cost $0.25, but I liked it. It didn't matter where I was sitting, so I'm with you on that. I like it.
So, and again, one of the things that we have to recognize, analytics aren't going away. And my mother used to, rail on Long Island, turn off the idiot box. Yeah, right. Well, nobody's putting away their phones. So I asked Pecco and her students to devise a game that for a handheld device that a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old could use at a ballpark to interact with the game, right? Well, first, we talked about putting patches on their sleeves with code readers so that the kid could read what the player had done the day before. They could read the stats, and that's doable, as a matter of fact. But we came up with a game where the kids it was called Beat the Bot. And you go against the computer. The computer knows the odds of everything. What's going to happen on the next pitch? What's the next pitch going to be? So we did this at the Cape Cod League, and it's one test run, but it worked. Yeah. And we had 80 people, 80 little kids playing. And what's more, we had 80 little kids saying to their parents, "No, I don't want to go home. I want to beat the bot." And then surrounding Pecco and her students who were operating the game, the TrackMan guys were playing it too. And the little guy comes up to Pecco and says, "Can we play Beat the Bot now?" And he's very little. And she says, "Well, can you read the scoreboard?" And he goes, "Yeah." She says, "Well, what does that number 2 mean?" "I don't know what it means." "That means it's the second inning." "When are we going to start playing Beat the Bot?" She says, "The 5th inning." So he says, "Oh, I have to wait." "Mom, we have to wait for Beat the Bot." Yeah. Mothers were saying the kids paid attention to baseball in a way they had never done.
All right. Game for a kid to do.
Game for a kid.
To get a game. All right. I like the one about day games on Saturday.
Yeah. I know the figures for what the commercials are worth at 4 and 1 p.m. as opposed to the night games. But with all the platforms, the many platforms on which which they sell games and packages to, if you can find them, I am sure they can figure out a way not to lose money on a deal that allows people to come back to the ballpark in the afternoon with their parents or with their little league coach and the team, and see baseball in the sunshine. Participate in a clinic. For God's sake, even Mickey Mantle did clinics, when he was a young ball player. Let them come down on the field. And not just the kids who are, whose parents are big, important season ticket holders. Let them feel the enormity of it.
Yeah.
And the grass and the dirt. Let all of them slide, right?
Yeah, all right. So it resonates with me. All right. It's Brooklyn. The game ends. We were allowed to go on the field.
Yeah.
We slid into second base. Dizzy Dean. Yeah. We slid into second base like Jackie did. Then we walked out through center field and we left Ebbets Field that way, but we were on the field. Moved to Miami. I loved the Marlins, of the 56 to 60 Marlins. We would go to the game on Sunday. We'd get there at 9 o'clock. Every Sunday was a doubleheader. We'd go on the field and play pepper with the Columbus Jets, or the Richmond Virginians, with Fritz Burkell or Bill Stafford.
Bill Stafford. Wow.
Yeah, and Bob Keegan of the Red Wings. So we would do that. High school, I went to a clinic. I played first base. Who was the one in Miami Stadium? Because the Orioles trained there. Jim Gentile. I never forgot that. So what you're saying completely resonates with me as I get older now. I'm not that old. I will be 80 soon, hopefully. But these memories for me come back very fondly and keep me connected to baseball. So I hear what you're saying. I do.
So, I had this long talk with Mike Rizzo before he was let go by the Nationals. And let me just say, no team is going to win with that management, with that ownership. So, and boy, does he have an eye for talent. But he watched a Savannah Bananas game at the spring.
I couldn't watch it. Could you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
I couldn't watch it. It made me crazy. I didn't know what was going on. It was ridiculous.
But what's important, and this is the argument we had. What's important is that baseball, take its head out of the sand and look at why it's successful.
I know, but come
on. Wait, Marty, wait, okay?
If it comes to Bananas, I'm leaving.
I'm not advocating yellow iridescent uniforms. I'm not advocating the craziness of running around the infield. Everybody has to touch the ball.
I know.
Or doing, backflips in center field. I'm not for the bananification of the way baseball is played. But he seized on something. He recognized something. His mantra is fans first, entertainment always.
I understand.
And that is the lesson that, that baseball is. So I said to Riz, why can't we? I mean, I forgot my reportorial objectivity. I was already commissioner. Why can't we have players go into the stands and meet kids the way the Savannah Bananas do? I watched a little boy, talking to it was a party animal guy. They're the men in pink. And the first thing that guy did was say, he hands the kid a pen and says, "Will you sign my uniform?" And the kid goes, he's suddenly important. This reversal of roles. You're important to me. Okay. Yeah. And the assistant head coach there, a former lawyer, I might add, Adam Virant, said that kid just became a baseball fan.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
getting the autograph, getting a ball, catching a ball, shaking hands. God, in Brooklyn, if I could have shook hands with a Dodger, my life would have been complete. When
My mother didn't wash her hand for 3 months after she touched Adlai Stevenson's shoulder.
Yeah, I got it. Believe me, I went to Cooperstown with Leonard Coppett and the Otis Saga. He got me in. I had breakfast in that dining room for a week every day with Koufax. Come on, Koufax. I shook his hand. And he said I was doing a good job with creating the oral history of baseball. That was it. I was done. I was finished. My life was over.
Life ended right there, right?
I called home and said, "That's it. I'm done. You can take me right now." I shook Koufax's hand. So what you're saying is so true. So true.
So, second rule. Now, my grandfather, who I never met, died young, was a bookie and a rum runner. And he supplied all the booze to the polo grounds back during Prohibition. In gratitude, my father was allowed to become the water boy for the New York Football Giants. Okay. Talk about a life-altering event, right? Again, it's getting down on the field and seeing the enormity of it. What baseball has succeeded in is homogenizing the sport in every single way, except for the gambling. Somehow the gambling is okay. Who they were for a century. We are the sport that opposes gambling. We have a sign on every clubhouse door. We're not letting Pete Rose in. He can take his 3,000 hits and go home. Suddenly turns on a dime with the Supreme Court decision in 2018. Now, realistically, because I'm not a lawyer, but I'm not unrealistic, they had to do it. I understand why they had to do it, though I think it would have been great if they didn't. However, just because they have to opt into the system doesn't mean they have to keep the money. They can take that money that they earn from what they always said shouldn't be in baseball and use it to create urban academies, training academies in every major league city so that there are more Jackie Robinsons, so that the black, outfield in the Polo Grounds in 1951, it can be replicated. They have made a start. They have tried. They could turn Dodgertown into the Jackie Robinson Training Complex. I give them props for what they've done. But after everything they've done, the amount of black major leaguers increased this year by 0.3%. So it's not enough.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
What a PR
into the Dominican Republic, they build all these academies in the Dominican. Look at what they've done there to get, because that's their talent stream now, because it's cheap.
Yes.
They can sign 1,000 players for $1,000 each, and that's their farm system. That's their feeder system, as opposed to
college now.
As opposed to getting kids out of college or out of high school, having to pay one kid or two kids. Now they come into a town, San Marco de Marcaris, and say, all right, let's get a tryout for 500. And they all show up and they figure out who they can take. That's the way baseball's done it since time began with baseball. Cheap labor.
It's the way boxing did it. It's the way every sport did it.
Yeah. That's
immigrant populations of kids who wanted to become American.
Do it here.
Right. So why not do it here? And what a PR coup it would be. Imagine if they, Rob Manfred, or in my case, me, stood up and said, you know what? We don't really like taking this money.
So has Rob Manfred called you yet?
I have not heard from my predecessor.
All right. What's the reaction to the book?
It hasn't been published yet.
Well, when does it come out?
It comes out on Tuesday. I will say, and it's thanks to people like you, it's now the #1 baseball book on Amazon 2 days before publication. So
Fantastic.
That's pretty gratifying. I have another fix. You want another fix, or are we done here?
No, come on.
Okay. The thing that tears me apart the most is the torn elbows. The number of them is it's so overwhelming. I have the numbers. I can go get them and read them to you, but you guys know I don't need to overstate it for you. The problem with using pitchers this way to the point of exhaustion and breaking, which is what's happening, is that first of all, it's not really very human. It's not really nice, but okay, guys are willing to take the chance in order to become major leaguers. And they believe that they can go get 1, 2, sometimes there's even a guy with 3 who's come back from Tommy John surgery. But it's also bad for the health of the game because you can't root for people who aren't there. So when
Yeah, it's true.
Spencer
Strider goes out for a year and a half. You can't root.
You can't root for him.
Yeah.
Who's the most recent Giant to have Tommy John?
Well, it's going to be Randy Rodriguez.
Right. And I think he's the most recent in baseball.
Yeah.
But Garrett Cole, Clark Schmidt.
Alcantara for the Marlins, how promising he was. No, it's true. It's true. That to me is really a problem. As commissioner, you should deal with it.
You remember when there was something called matchups, and you would go to the ballpark to see the 2 guys who pitched against each other, over a long period of time, like maybe Kershaw and Bumgarner, right? Yeah. It was 11 times, right? Isn't that a reason to go to the ballpark?
Yes.
Yeah, we just had one with Paul Skeens, and who did he pitch against? Snell? I forget who it was.
So, right.
But that's it. We've come to that.
Right. And it's also pitcher batter, right? You would go to the ballpark to see Greg Maddux pitch to Tony Gwynn, right? Is he ever going to get him out? Is Koufax ever going to get, the hammer out? It's the toughest, batter for Koufax.
Or Bob Uecker, who actually hit a home run off him.
Yes, we all remember that. And Davey Johnson, may he rest, was the last man to get hit off of Koufax.
Hit off Koufax. In the game that Willie Davis made 3 errors, and being an Oriole fan in those days, which I was very happy.
But see, this is the other thing. You guys know about FIP, right? You know what FIP is? Okay, so FIP is the descendant from what Dan Okrent, creator of Rotisserie League Baseball, this is all his fault, by the way. I told him this. He created WHIP, which then became DIP, which has now become FIP. And FIP is understandably valuable to an agent because it shows you what a pitcher is worth absent the screw-ups of everybody else.
Correct.
Or absent happenstance. The midges on the pitching mound in Cleveland, or a gust of wind, or a pebble on the infield. It distills his value, but what it also does is it separates, teammates. When Willie Davis made those 3 errors, what happened was that Koufax went to the end of the bench where he parked himself and put his arm around him. Yep, and Drysdale absolved him and said, this doesn't begin to compare to the number of times he's saved us. Yeah. So the sense of teamwork and teammates and picking each other up when you fell down, that is gone. It's gone. The numbers again subverted.
That's all right. Now you got some comments here. This is with all due respect, the author is basically doing a Doris Kearns Goodwin impression. Not at all. See, everything she did was based on keeping score. That's it. She kept score one day when her father didn't come home on time. You are a complete biographer, author, baseball person, writer, covered the game. So I like it. See, this is why I like comments. I never take anything personally. Everything
He's
is
too tall for me.
it's good. This is good. All right. Spencer Stewart, you can read that one, Eric.
Yeah, or there you go. My dad is originally from New York. In Little League, we had players come. He refused to shake Roy Campanello's hand because he played for the Dodgers and we were Giants fans. He thought it was funny. Talking about Campanella.
Hey, come on. I told a story in the movie, Baseball Mensch, the Marty Lurie story. The people who lived upstairs were Giant fans. We didn't talk to them. I tell you, my hand to God, as the actor says. Is it Woody Allen? He says that all the time. It's true. It's true. All right. Spencer,
Imagine getting people to care about baseball again, even a fraction of that.
Tony Gwynn hit 400 plus against Maddox.
Yep.
He had some ownage. All right. Very good. So people like this. Someone else commented how much they're enjoying your.
Yeah, Jim's Adventure Journal. Really enjoying this conversation. There you go. Awesome. Hey, I got a chance to look at some of your chapters and some of the breakdown. Fantastic stuff. Can you speak a little bit to chapter 11? Kind of perked my ears. I can't wait to get the book. Talking about the wisdom of Ron Washington. I think it's titled "A Way to Do Things." As far as it looks like, of course, talking about maybe some old school baseball, maybe.
So one of the things that I lament, and I'm a Yankee fan, and the way they didn't field and didn't execute in the World Series last year was what they call in Brooklyn a shonda. And a shonda is a shame, something shameful. It was an embarrassment. And this is why I blame Dan Okren, because rotisserie began purely as an offensive game, meaning it was reliant on offensive statistics because that's all we had. Now it's evolved a bit, but general managers today are people who grew up with, playing rotisserie everything and who manage and create their rosters in the same way. So the lack of importance of the defensive part of the game is shocking to me. It's absolutely shocking. And then you get a guy like Ron Washington. I don't know anybody who doesn't like Ron Washington and who isn't rooting for him after quadruple bypass this year to be able to go back to the Angels. So he's like standing on the field at Truist Park by the dugout, waiting for his students to come by. When I amble over and say, bright and bushy-tailed, have you felt the new bases? And he looks at me and goes, no, have you? And I went, of course I've felt the new bases. How am I going to tell how different they are? It isn't just the extra 3 inches. I had him right there. I mean, he was like, oh, that's good. That's really good. So he begins to describe it, and his pupils arrive, and he begins to go through his daily set of exercises that he has been doing with infielders since he turned, well, even before he turned Scott Hatterberg into a first baseman for the A's. It is a kind of rigor and devotion to craft that is sorely lacking, and not just in baseball.
Yeah, no, the little things win games.
Mm-hmm.
And, right.
Add them up. Look, Alvin Dark did this in the 60s. He had a plus-minus system, as crude as that was. And Alvin Dark had problems anyway with the Latin players and everything else. But he would, if you did something good, he gave you a plus. If it didn't, he gave you a minus. And then he'd add it up, the plus and minuses. And that's the little things of baseball that Wash talks about.
So he showed me how he teaches guys to cut a bag, meaning to cut the corner as close as you can to give you an advantage. He said, they don't understand that there's an advantage to be had. Watch those guys run through the bag and then turn left, right? He said, this is 2 inches, and I watched him excoriate Ozzie Albies for a lazy tag at second base. It was hilarious. He said, you didn't put your head down there, dog. And Ozzy goes, I'm not. Yes, I did. No, you did not. They're going back and forth and back and forth. And Ozzy finally says, well, there was a big monster coming in. I'm 180. He was 250. I'm not sticking my head in there. And Wash says, well, that's the differences between safe and out.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it. And he insisted on things being done right.
Yeah, tell Hal McRae that, how to go into a bag.
Well, yeah, they have changed
Willie,
that.
for Willie Randolph. I put Willie Randolph in left field, going to second base. No, this is fun. Diamondbacks are 3-2.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's Betty, who's a character in the book. I apologize.
They're now up 4-3, according to
Yes, they are. Thank you, Rick.
All right, so the book's coming out Tuesday. Where would one get it if one wants to get it? Just Amazon or something like that?
I have two boxes sitting in my living room.
We
Hey.
the book tree in Montclair. He sends me books and things like that. We support him quite a bit. But
well, I support independent bookstores everywhere and always recommend them. We need to keep them alive, especially as funding for libraries is being cut every which way. But you can get it online at Barnes and Noble and Amazon and I tried to make it fun.
it is.
I want it to be it's not a hatchet job. Rob didn't create all this. He inherited a mess of inaction caused by inaction over many
where
days.
society is going today anyway. Our society is heading that way. And baseball mirrors what goes on in society. You can go back to the labor unions, the integration, steroids, wars, you name it. Baseball mirrors what's going on, and baseball is mirroring what's going on with our society.
Wash said, we don't teach them the advantages of cutting a bag the right way. And then we go and we give them advantages instead, the bigger bag. You should have heard Dusty Baker. God bless Dusty Baker.
Pizza.
You want to talk about a mensch? He was the most human in baseball for a really long time.
Yeah. This is in the book, by the way. Everything Jane and Eric and you guys are listening to, this is all in there. That's why the book is a lot of fun. This is good.
I said to him, and you tell me when to shut up, obviously. I said, Dusty, what happened to empiricism in baseball? And he said, Jane, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I got guys telling me that what my eyes see, they don't really see. And what the eyes do see doesn't matter. It's wrong. Your eyes are lying to you. And that's the nub of the problem.
Yeah.
To dismiss, 50 years of baseball experience in and out of uniform. And that's what's happened. And, I don't know any team that's completely not using analytics. It's a question of the proportion. And again, who decides when they matter? Who decides when it's okay to diverge? And I would argue, for the human element, for the eyes that have seen it all.
We see it. You can argue about the range of Casey Schmidt at second, but when the ball's hit in the 8th or 9th inning in the hole at second, I want him to go after it. I want his arm thrown at the first. And you can give me all the DZR, UZR, and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Games on
the alphabet soup.
I said to Crawford too. I said, when the game's on the line in the 9th inning, I want the ball hit to you. I don't care what they say your range is. Yeah, Andrelton Simmons can do this and this and this and everything. I said, when the ball's hit to you in the 9th inning, I want you to catch it. And
baseball knows that it has these problems. They're not. Their heads are no longer in the sand, and they know that what fans want is the faster more textured game. They want to see doubles.
That's why the banana thing bothers me. It's just, come on, they sell out. They sell out wherever they go. It's insanity.
There's a lesson there, Marty. There's a real lesson.
I know.
So wait. So my point is, when's the last time that you can think of that a World Series, the most memorable play in a World Series was something other than a home run?
Yeah, the guy in center field dropping the ball.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, Aaron Judge really, and he doesn't usually do that. But okay. But how about an accomplishment as opposed to a failure? When's the last time?
Kendrick winning the World Series with a home run.
No, I said, when's the last time you can think of a play that won the World Series and wasn't the home run?
Oh, it was.
Or is most memorable of a World Series and wasn't a home run?
So hitting the ball over the Yankee infield for the single. Was it Gonzo?
It was Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, yeah. Gonzalez scored counsel.
But even that, okay, a bloop, whatever. How about things like Clemente's throw from right field at Memorial Stadium? That, how about Sid Bream, right, on the base path?
Sid slid. Sid slid.
Yep, Sid slid.
When Sid slid.
How about the Giants turning that double play in the 2014 Game 7?
Yeah, that's a good one.
So you want those plays to be as memorable.
Yeah.
And people think that I'm just like completely saying get rid of analytics. We're not getting rid of analytics. They're not going away. It's a question of, and there's value in them. The question is, again, how to use them. So one of my more radical ideas, which people will hate, but it will change the game, is to put I guess it's lucite, plexiglass wall up in every ballpark in the outfield. It makes the outfield wall 18 feet high. I'm not at the top of the Green Monster. So no more cheap Dave Kingman home runs. Balls will ricochet off the plexiglass, and you'll have doubles and triples again. And then general managers will have to value arms that can throw from the outfield again. And guess what else it'll do? It'll make a whole new area of prime seats. Would you like to sit on the other side of that plexiglass when Aaron Judge barrels into it? I would. I don't even look up when there are home runs anymore.
If I want to do that, I'll go to a hockey game.
Yeah, it's like at a hockey game.
I'll go to a hockey game. Yeah, not in baseball. Come on. I don't want to do that.
Marty, you could do it for 5 years and
Rather
change.
watch a fan catch a foul ball for an out.
I'm not advocating that. I'm saying force the game to change back to its old, some of the
To its
best
roots.
parts of old self.
Hey, that Grover Cleveland Alexander coming in to strike out Tony Lazzeri in the 7th game of the 1926 World Series. If there's one moment I could go back and see, I'd like to see that.
That would be something.
Rogers Hornsby waking him up in the bullpen.
You're going to do what? You're going to throw a fastball down the middle? What?
Off and come across the line, sort of ambling across. You don't know if he's awake, drunk, or what. And he comes in with the bases loaded. 1926, the World Series, Game 7, 7th inning. Tony Lazzeri, push him up. Tony is up. Great clutch hitter. He fouls one down the left field line. It's fouled by 3 inches. 3 inches. And he comes back and he strikes him out. The game ends, a 1-run game, when Babe Ruth is thrown out trying to steal second. Well, you wrote the story. Is thrown out trying to steal second base. That's the way it ends. Where was the Babe going? And then
How about
game I'd like to see again.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. But how about Davey Roberts stealing, second base?
Yeah,
As a pinch runner. I mean, these moments should be as important
I know.
and as integral to the game today as they used to be.
Yeah, I'd like to see Pee Wee catching the ground ball that Elston Howard hit and throwing him out, and Johnny Padres winning the 7th game in 1955. I wouldn't mind seeing that again.
I wouldn't mind seeing Sandy Koufax going to his architecture teacher and asking if he can be absent from class because he has to be at the ballpark. And the guy
Yeah.
going, why? He goes, well, I'm a pitcher for the Dodgers. Nobody knew him then.
Yeah. No, I like when he didn't work on Yom Kippur, and I like when Sale pitched the first game and gave up 7 runs in the 4th inning, and Walter Alston came to take him out, and Drysdale said, "Don't you wish I was Jewish too?" You know, it's one of my favorite.
It is a great story.
You
And
did
then-
great work, Jane. You did great work.
Thank you.
Great. The stuff you've done is classic. Will live on forever. You really have done good work.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah.
That's praise from a very valued source.
No, you have. You've done great work that people will love forever. And this book is a lot of fun. It's entertaining, and that's what you want.
Wait till they see Betty on the field.
Wait.
Nice.
Book. All right. We'll let you go.
That's, I can talk forever.
That's my line.
Yeah.
And I'm a lawyer. I can talk forever, but I usually say about nothing. You could actually talk about something that's important. So
Yeah.
it's good.
I do love it.
You do a great job, and you have the Sammy Esposito glove. I can start that story.
Oh, look at that.
Look at this. So this is a great story. How much do you want to tell, and how much should I tell?
Well, you could tell about Grandma taking you shopping, and you end up with the Sammy Esposito glove of all gloves. And look it up.
End
He
up
was
in the window.
utility
and
player
say-
for the Chicago White Sox. That's Sammy Esposito.
Well, the best part of the story is, yes, my grandmother was she was actually not an immigrant. She was born here, but certainly came from an immigrant family. And she had what I like to call elastic love, enough for everybody. And it stretched. And for me, that meant accepting that I was a little girl who would rather be playing baseball than having bows tied in my hair. So she lived a block and a half from home plate, Yankee Stadium. I could sit in her park and hear the crowd, and the connection, the ball in the back. And so we went to the station on River Avenue, the IND. Oops.
No.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, your mic's picking up a little bit, so I was just muting it while she was speaking.
Oh, okay. And she took me down to Saks Fifth Avenue because she only wanted the best for her grandchildren. In this case, she wanted the best glove. So she went to the place that she knew always had the best of everything, Saks Fifth Avenue. And there we get out and we see, because it's near opening day, and there was a display in the window facing Rockefeller Center, a mannequin, with on her hand this model glove. It's the Sam Esposito Form Pocket 1161 Spalding. And I didn't know who he was. But I told her he was a Yankee, of course, right? So it had no pocket, none. You could not catch with it. It did not matter what you did. You couldn't catch a pork chop with it. Nothing. And the truth is that my mother ultimately threw it out. And I was crestfallen. A friend of mine, a sports writer friend of mine, went on eBay and got this copy of it. But the best story is when there was no baseball in Washington, I was assigned at the Washington Post every year write an opening day story about a city without baseball. So what did I do? I tracked down Sam Esposito, who was then the assistant athletic director at North Carolina State.
Really?
He had been the assistant basketball coach and he was Jimmy V's guy, right? And the first thing he says to me, I tell him that story about my grandmother and my mother throwing it out. And before I get to the part about my mother throwing it, he goes, "Do you still have it? Do you still have it?" And I go, "No, she threw it out." And he goes, "Oh, because he had loaned his semi glove to David Thompson, the great basketball player, who loaned it to Monty Tao, the shrimpy basketball player, to play in a softball game. And he never got it back. And he was hoping that I had mine.
I love it.
And we had the best conversation. I stayed in touch with him, and oh God, and I wish he had lived long enough for me to send him this.
Sweet. What beautiful memories. All right, we'll let you go, Jane. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Really,
thank you, Jane. Pleasure meeting you.
I'll see if I get out there. I'll let you know if I'm coming. All right.
Yeah, would you play Arizona or the Bay Area? Let me know. And you will see the Giants in the playoffs. I guarantee it.
Okay. I'm not so sure about the Yankees. I'm getting it. They did beat Toronto 2 out of 3.
All right. Be well.
Be well, babe. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
That was great. That was great.
That's a baseball person.
Yep. 100%.
That
was a great conversation. That was very enjoyable.
Yeah. All right. 4-4.
It's 4-4. Yep. Tied up for the football game, 10-10.
Yeah. How are the 49ers looking today anyway?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't been watching at all.
Is McCaffrey playing?
He is playing right now. He's got 21 carries for 69 yards.
That's it, huh?
Yep.
Brock
is 20 for 28, 210 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Who's the big receiver?
The biggest receiver, Christian McCaffrey, it looks like. 7 receptions, 66 yards.
Yeah, he throws that. That's what he does. He throws that short stuff.
Yep.
So no deep threat.
That doesn't look that way.
Yeah.
Does not look that way.
We'll
keep an eye. Let's say fourth quarter, approximately 7 minutes to go. I don't know how up to date that is, but
all right. Well, let me go back to baseball. Giants lost today.
They did.
Jane made me feel, a little bit mellower about baseball.
I was just going to say that. I feel a little bit more calm now.
Yeah, they gave it away. They gave it away today. And with her in mind, seriously, maybe the analytics said, don't bring in so-and-so in the 5th inning. Who knows who was available, but they all came in anyway.
They all
were available. The only guy you didn't see was Beck and
Brubaker
and Keenan Wynn. You could have brought Wynn in the 5th inning, but get somebody as soon as he walked the first 2, or as he walked the first one and then went 2-0 on the next one. Get somebody up.
Yep.
Get somebody up. Go out to the mound then. Oh God. There was a high school football coach who said to the player, he said, "Hell's afloat, son. Now you tell me you can't see in the dark and at night. Now you tell me when the kickoff hit him in the head. Hell's afloat, son. Now you tell me. It's a little late." And really, Melvin should have been better today.
Yeah, he should have.
Playoff mentality, Eric. I tell you.
Right.
This is what made Bruce Bochy a Hall of Famer. And I learned it from him, from Woe, Art Howe, Maka. These are successful managers. And when that game was to be won, Chad Bradford came in the 6th inning for Maka and threw that Tyler Rogers stuff and got the save there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's got to happen. You better do that down the stretch.
Right.
This is not playing nice. So this is not a tryout camp now. Come on, they have a shot to get in. The Mets, the Dodgers, the Reds, all the schedules are monsters for everybody. Let's see who survives. They do have Ray. They got Webb. They got Verlander, who's giving you 6 innings. Carson Seymour did his job. The guy today did his 4 innings. Why not give them a shot? They have a chance here.
Exactly.
And the Dodgers, look, they play hard against the Dodgers.
They do.
And now the Arizona game is 4-4, someone said.
Yeah, it was 4-4. Let me refresh to see if there's anything new. Still 4-4.
Yeah. Isabel Ibarra, so the Dodgers gave it away last night. Yeah, the Dodgers did. Dodgers are 9 under since July 4th.
They're not invincible. I said this on the show a couple of nights ago. I was like, look, I don't feel threatened with the Dodgers coming into town.
Lose the game today with Matos on the bench. Get a third catcher up here. I don't care if the third catcher is Kurt Manwaring. Get a third catcher up here so you can pinch hit for Kinzer or Bailey when you have to do it. Now, Gilbert's doing his job now. You don't have to pinch hit for him anymore. You can get Matos in there. You can do that. Schmidt is kind of doing his job. It's not 7, 8, 9 automatic outs anymore.
Right.
But he did maneuver himself into a position where you need to steal a bag with a pinch runner in the 9th inning, and who's up? Bailey. I hate to pick on him, but he is a 210 hitter.
Right.
And he shouldn't be in that position. Don't put people in positions to fail. Put them in positions to succeed. So they're 5 out with 19 to go, even with the Mets trying to give it away. Giants are winning the last wildcard. Spencer, I agree with you.
Ooh, Spencer, he's coming around. Spencer.
All right, let's take a break.
Sure.
And let's come back. We'll talk a little more ball. Okay.
Sounds good.
It's fall at River Islands and Lathrop, and the schools are back in session. There are 3 top-rated K through 8th grade academies within the community, and construction just started on Academy number 4. How about that? River Islands High School students are busy in the classroom and on the sports fields of their amazing new campus. Elsewhere in Northern California's most successful lifestyle community, they're putting the final touches on another park. This one with a playground, workout areas, tennis, a splash pad, and a picnic area. The fall weather is still perfect for launching a kayak or a paddleboard. Well, and I love that. Off your own deck and heading over to the Boathouse restaurant for lunch or dinner. More than 4,000 households have already made the move to River Islands. Today, with 15 neighborhoods priced from $600,000 to over $1 million, there's more variety in home styles and sizes than ever before. In fact, the only thing missing at River Islands is you. Start your tour at riverislands.com. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands? It sure was for me. Fans, Bridge Bank delivers their clients full relationship banking, including treasury management solutions and global market services. Bridge Bank offers financing solutions to businesses for their working capital, equipment, and real estate needs. This is very important in today's world. Fred Voss is the Senior Managing Director of Bridge Bank's commercial lending efforts in Northern California. He has commercial banking teams in San Jose with Jesse Garcia, San Francisco, Oakland, Cheadle Cordova, and in Pleasanton. Bridge Bank, it's like banking at home. I can't say enough about it.
All right.
All right. Spencer Stewart is trying to edit his comment. Sorry, Spencer. No, you cannot edit. No,
you're in there, Spencer.
Yeah, you're in. You said they're going to make it. So, yep. You've now joined the crazy crowd. Harry Crowley likes to call me crazy. Sorry, Spencer. You're in there with me.
Buddy, I asked you a question in the green room. Who do the Giants go to in the 9th from here on out?
Well, I think if you had 3 lefties coming up, or if the matchup with the bench, they would be using lefties, blah, 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 kind of stuff. I could see Lucchesi trying to get the last 3.
Okay.
But it's always a power position. And someone said Keaton Wynn today is a possibility. That's a possibility with the hard sinker. Whatever it is, the thing that goes down. But I think I'd go with Peguero. He looks like a young, good Duvall, Rodriguez. You know, he's got those 101, 102. He throws a 92-mile-an-hour slider, and he's
last slider he threw was.
And he's not walking. Well, that was Fermin and the rest of them.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
They were swinging. When the ball was in the glove, they were trying to swing. But he's not walking the park.
No. So
why not? Why not? Why not? But with Verlander and Webb and Ray, that's 3 pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
They are hitting. I'm a little concerned today. The hitting, today was what it used to be. Ramos had a really bad day. It was his birthday, so who knows what he did last night.
Right. Lee didn't have a very good game either.
No, Lee was exposed today. They really pitched to Lee. He had trouble today.
That's right out with the bases loaded. They were right down the middle. There was no excuse.
Oh, Ramos too. And Ramos came up with after the 2 walks.
That's right.
Struck out. And then Devers got the hit. Well, that was when they left Sonny Gray. He left Sonny Gray in. Come on, Sonny Gray's got. Come on, hello.
He had nothing.
Strikeout, single, pass, ball, walk, single, and he's still in. And then took him out. And he brought in a kid who brings it. That could save the game for him today.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Savard or something. It's a strange name.
If he came in the beginning of the 6th inning, we never would be having this discussion. Oliver Marmol must go. I'm sorry.
And you got Benji Molina sitting in there. He's probably going to get a future.
Yeah. Benji Molina is going to be a good manager.
I think so.
Yeah, he's going to get the respect. So it's a tough game for the Giants today. Dom Smith still does everything. Flores comes off, and I said, he's getting a hit. It was a question of what it was going to be. He was either hitting it through the hole on the right side, hitting it up the middle, or pulling a hit to left, and he pulled it down the line and got it. And he made it to second. I'm shocked that he made it to second.
I saw him trucking. I'm like, oh, no, what's going to happen?
It was like one of those races where you stop and have a drink on the way, on the sidewalk, give you a drink as you're running. I thought that's what had happened to him, that he had stopped on the way. But he made it. He actually got there.
Lou Marston. He's getting tired of hearing Fleming constantly complain about the strike zone. Yeah.
Well, look, this is the problem with the box. And I've said this for years.
Yes. Get rid of the box.
Get rid of the box. That's all. And that's the end of the complaining. Let the now, if we're going to the automatic bullshit thing, whatever you call it, whatever that
automatic balls and strikes, yeah.
ABS, whatever. I'm not sure what it stands for. But yeah. All right. So then you get the box and you see. But unless the box means something, all it does is create controversy.
Right. And there's a great point. We talked to Matt Stairs. We had him on our show way back when we first started. And he was talking about with that box. He's like, where is that box placed? Is it over the middle of home plate? Is it to the back?
That's the whole thing. You don't know.
You just don't know.
It's totally misleading. And I don't blame many announcers for commenting on it because it's right in front of them. And, they're trying to give you their view of the game. But Lou, that complaint, if you want to call it that, has been heard before. Yeah, people do that. People like to use the box as their guide. And I say get rid of it. So it was a tough one today. Casey Schmidt made a nice play in the hole, didn't he?
He did. No, and then he got a lot behind it. He was on his butt throwing the ball. That was great.
Great arm. Chapman got a hit today. They walked him. I must say, walked him to get to Lee, and that could have backfired. Lee could have slapped one somewhere in the infield or something. But he walked Chapman with Flores, who then pinch run by Koss, and Lee struck out. So he got out of that one. But how about the first 5 innings? The Giants didn't have a hit.
No, they didn't. One walk, and that was it.
Devers got the hit. Then Sonny Gray fell apart in that 6th inning. I could understand Marmol hanging with him, for a while because he did have the 4-run lead. But you don't want to give it back. And so I don't know. I don't manage like that. Devers today, they handled him pretty good. He got handled today. He had the nice hit.
Mm-hmm.
He had the one hit. He's still a threat for me every time.
Every time
up, he's a threat to knock it out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, talking about going back to Schmidt, he had a nice line drive there to right field. Just not quite enough.
Yeah, just missed. What's going on in the games?
Spitzer says 2 minutes left. They're 2nd and 8 for the Niners at the Seattle 20. Seattle's up 13-10. Let's see if there's an update here. It must be. Oh, they're in a 2 minute. They're in a 2 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 minute warning.
This is I don't know what to expect from the 49ers. I really don't.
Yeah. I really.
Sounds
I'm not
like,
an expert.
It sounds like they're rebuilding a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. A lot of young guys, if I'm not mistaken, listening to KMBR, a lot of young guys on the roster.
Yeah, last year at this time, we were thinking Super Bowl. They're going to win the whole thing. This year, they're not even in the conversation.
Let's take a look here. I think they're still on the.
What's doing in the Diamondback?
Oh, yeah, let me take a look here. Diamondbacks, top of the 9th, 4-4.
You see, the Diamondback bullpen, I don't even know who's in. I couldn't even tell you who's pitching for them anymore.
Here, let me bring this up here. Let's go straight to MLB, and then I can bring up game day, and it's a lot easier.
See who's pitching. See what their bullpen looks like.
Rashi is pitching for Arizona.
Yeah. See, they got people I've never heard of. Saul Frank is back.
Lowe is up to bat right now. Count is 2-2.
Yeah, boy, was that guy a 0 for Washington when they were here? Remember that? He couldn't do anything right. Nothing.
Nope.
Out of shape. He went to Boston. And he's crushing the ball. Where he was when he
Isn't
got
that
there.
crazy?
Yeah.
And how about Aroldis Chapman? I know Boston extended him, and that guy's 40-something years old and still throwing over 100.
Yeah, he's like Verlander. These are freaks. Verlander has had a nice season.
Mm-hmm.
For him, for being 42 and
right.
It's really, there's always a pitch. Matt Cain it happened to. There's always somebody it happens to where they don't get any runs for you. The bullpen blows it. He's 3-10. He could be 10-10.
He could have been. Yeah, right. Absolutely. And, you're alluding to something I've been talking about. I started talking about last night. If the Giants are able to do something special here, I'm not disappointed with our 3 starters with Webb and Ray and Verlander.
Believe me, Verlander in his own way, he works hard. He's pitching. He works hard, and he's not working this. He tries this. If that's not working, he tries this. He is a pitcher, and he's given him enough. And you get the bullpen behind him. And you've got your 3 starters because the other 2 are going to pitch.
Correct.
Yeah. No.
I didn't get a chance to ask you this. What'd you think of Carson Seymour pitching in what was that? He pitched, I think, the first game of St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember, to tell you the truth. I remember he did all right, didn't he?
He did okay. He did okay for a young, because that guy was always giving up home runs all over the place, and he kind of settled down a little bit.
I think they have him throwing more sinkers. Isn't that's his pitch. In spring training, his power pitching was really very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came up to the big leagues, and it looked like he was giving up home runs right and left and all that. Something changed. But I think he may be back to the power stuff.
And that makes sense, because I think he was hanging a lot of his sliders and his
I
off
think
speed.
he got away from that. Now it's just power. Because he's a big kid. He throws hard. Yeah, he throws hard.
Oh, and you were talking before you get out. You were talking about Rodriguez batting 3 54 for Sacramento right now.
No, he should be on the team tomorrow. As I say, I'll say it again. They need a third catcher. I don't care who it is. You can bring back Elston Howard, Bill Dickey, Mike Sosha, Tom Haller, Posey.
Yep.
Put Posey on the roster.
Niners scored a touchdown here in the closing moments of the game here.
All right, who scored it?
I'm about to find out. Let's see who got it. Who did get it? I'm trying to see the scoring. Player stats.
So
who had the touchdown?
George
Kittle. Who had the touchdown, guys? You guys got to let me know. I don't even know who had it. The only one I'm seeing right now is George Kittle from earlier.
All right. Okay, so
Jake Tongas. Is that how you say his name?
What is he? Is he a receiver?
Look, number 88. I don't know if he's a tight end or what he is.
Okay.
Tongas, is that how you say his name? Forgive me if I'm butchering his name.
All right. Well, how about that? Have we done it? 17-13, 130. Seattle has one timeout. All right. Well, we got Arizona for 3. Who's pitching tomorrow, Eric?
Let's take a look. Tomorrow it will be Logan Webb. So I feel pretty good.
Is it Chris Matt tomorrow?
Chris Matt. And let's see what his numbers are.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good starts for them. He used to be with the Padres, remember?
Right.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good starts. They're not getting Nelson. Nelson always gives them trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly's gone. Merrill Kelly is gone. So it's just Gallen.
Let me see. On Tuesday is Zach Gallen against Robbie Ray.
Yeah. Who's Wednesday? And
Wednesday it will be
Rodriguez.
Eduardo Rodriguez against Carson Seymour.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, they can. Let's see what they do.
Backs up against it.
As Ryan says, hit the like button.
Absolutely. And those of you guys over on Twitter, make sure you come over here to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Marty Lurie and Friends, and then you'll know every time we go live.
Yeah. All right. I'm tired. That's enough.
Yeah. Let's get out of here. All right.
Good. Appreciate everybody listening. Jane Leavy, that was good.
That was great. Great conversation.
Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. She's cool. And she's a real baseball person. In fact, I'll hold the book up again.
There you go. Yeah, in 2 days, the September 9th, that book right there will be coming out.
Yeah, make me commissioner. So now it goes in my pile of books. I've got a lot of. We got to get more people on.
That's good. I like bringing on authors.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it too. All right. So I appreciate everyone. Did we play all our spots? Do you want to play 2 more? Do you have 2 more?
We could. Yeah, I got 2 more. You want to play 2 more, and we'll come right back and close it out.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a pleasure working with Rick Robin this year. Rick Robin, ROBBEN, NapaConstruction.com. Rick, the last time you were on with us, you told us about kitchen and bath remodeling, but there's a lot more going on up in your area.
Yes, there is. ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units, which are known as granny units. We can do your existing garage, attached garage, even building a new unit in the back. And so what we do is come out, bring our architect out there. Such a great thing. No sewer hookup fees, no water hookup fees. So that's what we do.
Rick, how does one start the process with you? How does one get in touch with you?
Oh, you call Tammy, 707-332-7575, 7 days a week.
Rick Robin, ConstructionNapa.com. Rick, the thing I like about this, no problem for me. You come out with the plans, the permits, everything is in-house, no fees, and you get a new unit that you can rent out and get money back on your investment right away. I like it, Rick.
Thanks, Marty. Love talking to you.
Rick Robin, ConstructionNapa.com. Fans, joining us is Grant Power, President and CEO of Nations. Grant, last year we talked about the amazing breakfast at Nations. I'm going to ask you this. What's your favorite lunch?
I'm pretty split. I guess I'm kind of like a pitcher who has two favorite pitches they like leaning on. I'd say half the time I do the hamburger and half the time I do the wild salmon burger. It really depends on which protein you want. We love our beef supplier in Northern California. We've been with them for decades. We test our beef all the time. We sell ocean caught wild salmon. Friends don't let friends eat farm salmon. It's absolutely delicious. To mix it up, I guess it's like a pitcher who has a two-seamer and a four-seamer, or maybe a four-seamer and a cutter. I actually go grilled onions on my hamburger half the time and raw onions the other half. Today at lunch, I got the French fries, but half the time I get the onion rings, and I had a wonderful slice of pecan pie. There's something for everybody, whether you like hot dogs or grilled cheese. It's really up to the individual what mood they're in, but my go-to is either the beef with the hamburger or the wild salmon, which is absolutely delicious.
Wow, I love it. Grant Power, President, CEO of Nations. Grant, thanks so much.
Pleasure being on.
Hey, how'd you like the end of the 49er game?
Oh, well, what happened? Oh, don't tell me.
As Spencer says, Shadows of the 49er 14, and they just rushed Sam Darnold, and somehow he dropped the ball. 49ers got it. And,
Hey,
they're going to win the game. How about
there
that?
you go. How about that?
That's football. That's football. All right.
Football.
Next Sunday is the Dodger game.
Dodger, yeah.
So we'll be on. And I always say maybe we'll do something during the week, but we'll see.
Sounds great.
Yeah, this is good. I appreciate it, Eric, Ryan, good job, and we'll catch up with you. A lot will happen. Believe me, we got six games. A lot will happen before next Sunday.
Sure will.
Should
Looking
be
forward
good.
to it.
All right, everyone, take care. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you kindly. Enjoy the next week. We've got a whole bunch of baseball to speak on here at Marty and Friends.